If The Rock traded his charisma and body oil for long hair, a sword and a shield, you would get Helena, the beefy tank, in the upcoming MMO dungeon-inspired title, Fellowship. So let's get a quick overview on how to play Helena and what her incredible toolkit is before I tell you to like and subscribe. Damn it, did it again! Helena, as well as any other tank in the game, focuses on keeping the enemies fixed on her while taking in as little damage as possible. For this purpose, she has one major mechanic to increase her damage mitigation, namely toughness. This is the bar in the middle of the screen, which is a percentage gauge with 3 milestones, which indicate how much damage reduction she currently has. Each point means her received damage is reduced by 20%, meaning at the maximum amount of toughness, all the damage she takes is reduced by 60%, so keep that bar up as much as possible. This toughness reduces the more damage she takes, so when a boss hits her with a heavy hit, toughness gets drained by a lot. Filling up this bar is done by using her Shield Slam or Shields Up abilities. Both skills have a long cooldown, but Helena is further equipped with a ton of cooldown reduction options, either through her base toolkit or her talents. This sees nearly every spell reducing the cooldown of another spell. For example, the skills Power Strike and Measured Strike reduce the cooldown of Shield Slam and Shield Throw, while Shock Wave reduces the spell Shields Up, while Shockwave itself gets its cooldown reduced by Shield Throw. So playing her means to know how to perform a rotation with the goal to reduce every spell's cooldown as much as possible, while putting out as many Shield Slams to keep her toughness high. Shield Slam increases her toughness bar by 25%, while Shields Up empowers her with 60% toughness and also an increased block chance of 25%. But there's more, since while this block chance is increased, every successful block gives Helena an additional 3% toughness. So this ability, Shields Up, is quite a powerful tool when doing big pulls. Now that we've talked about Helena's ways to reduce her damage, let's get a quick overview on how she keeps the enemies fixed on her. First of all, a tank should always run first into a group, since in Fellowship, the first player targeted by the enemies gets a huge aggro boost. With Shield Slam and Measured Strike, she deals damage to all enemies in front of her, keeping the aggro on her, while Sweeping Strike is another skill that hits all targets but further leaves a bleeding debuff, dealing damage over time. With the last 2 AoE damaging spells, we have the Shield Throw and Shockwave, with the former throwing a shield, well, you might have guessed that with the name, which bounces between enemies, being a great way to pull enemies from afar, while Shockwave not only deals AoE damage around her, but further slows down enemies, being a great way to kite a large group if her toughness is running low and everything is currently on cooldown. With all those AoE hits, it is difficult to lose aggro, but if that may happen, Helena has a simple taunt ability that gives her 100% aggro on the targeted enemy. Having talked about the basic toolkit, we are now finishing off this video with the utility skill sets she has in form of 4 additional skills. The first 2 are great ways to interrupt enemy actions, with the first being a simple interrupting skill called Bash, which stops enemy casting, while the second option we have is Charge, seeing Helena run towards an enemy and further stunning them for a few seconds. This lets us stop 2 enemies at once if we play it right. Now the last 2 abilities are long cooldown skills which make or break whole runs. The first would be Iron Wall, letting her keep all the toughness for 12 seconds, meaning it cannot be reduced with whatever damage she takes, making her an absolute beast for 12 seconds, since if timed right with Shields Up, she is reducing all incoming damage by 60% guaranteed. This is a great defensive tool which many tanks use when doing big pulls, so even if you aren't playing Helena, keep an eye on this buff and her toughness bar in the party frame, since you can time your own helpful skills as a healer or a damage dealer to help her out once Iron Wall runs out. The last ability is, well, let's call it what it is, overpowered. Grand Melee is the biggest spell Helena has, which makes every enemy around her only use melee hits for 10 seconds. Now imagine a group of rangers and dangerous caster mobs. If they are spread out and going to deal enormous amounts of damage, Helena can stop this with this unique spell, pulling them all together, interrupting already performing casts and giving her party a nice grouped up target. This could be used to pull together a bunch of groups, stop dangerous spells from powerful enemies, or, and this is another great utility and side benefit, since we can use it as a defensive skill, since Grand Melee further reduces magic damage taken by 20% for the whole group, which could be a game changer in boss fights. A game changer for any fight could also be the spirit ability of Helena, being her ultimate ability called Siege Breaker. This ability sees her for 20 seconds take 25% reduced damage overall, deal more damage with a few skills, and has even more cooldown reductions through her skills, letting her stack up toughness incredibly fast. And this is Helena, the surprisingly versatile tank. You can play her on the 16th of October when the game launches on Steam.